Okay, what's up, everybody? RevSauce9. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe. So, I'm going to reiterate here in this very video review. My wrestling reviews may be the next day, may be in the morning, or it may be the hour after it happens, after it goes off air. Depends. I may do live watch alongs. I may do live reviews. It depends on how I'm feeling and what I want to do. You know what I mean? It depends on my game streaming schedule. Depends if I go back to work. A lot of things are moving. A lot of things, my health, everything, getting back to working out, doing the things. Everything is moving. Everything's got a paradigm shift, everything. So just expect my wrestling reviews going to be either hour after it's happening, uploaded, or live, or the next day in the morning, or the next day after, which I'll do a whole bunch of reviews all at once. But expect wrestling news videos, expect tech stuff, expect gaming stuff, expect lots of different things from me. We just brought back Adventure Time here on this channel. And that goes to all my other video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. I'm doing a lot of different things, okay? So expect a lot of different things. I will try to keep this as consistent as I can. Expect uploads most days, okay, going forward into 2025. And if I do go back to work or whatever and I focus more on game streaming, you guys are still going to get uploads. You're still going to get me talking wrestling. That's not going to ever die with me. I love wrestling. I love sports. That's never going to die with me. I still got to talk about my Lakers picking up DSF and all that. So, and get my thoughts of possibly getting Walker Kessler. So, there's that. Anyway, and talk about Mike Trout being lean. And we got to talk about the NVIDIA prices being shit. There's a lot of things that going into 2025 we're going to be talking about because there's a lot of things I'm passionate about. And Rev's Tech Tips was another thing I'm passionate about. We talked about how to properly phone charge your phone. And I pretty much reacted to one of those tech influencers. So there's that. So anyway, let's get into talking about Monday Night Raw. I'm going to keep this very quick, simple, to the point, and be raw and cutting up bias for all of you beautiful people out there in my community. So let's talk about it. Seth Rollins, get right to the meat and potatoes. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, the ending of Raw, explosive. That's how it should be. Seth Rollins and CM Punk. CM Punk has been in prominent storylines now. And I see them putting the belt on him. I see them having him beat Gunther at this point, or have him go over to SmackDown and fulfill his destiny and beat Cody, which I would be happy more over on the SmackDown side. I'd rather see Orton get the World Heavyweight title. Don't get me wrong. I think Orton would be a great undisputed champion. But I honestly think it's CM Punk's time. They brought him here. They signed him for a whole bunch of money for the next 6 years. It's his time. And Seth Rollins, don't get me wrong, but Seth Rollins ain't that main card guy. He's not that main card guy as he once was. He's gone down a few pegs. And his character progression has not helped himself. I do not care for the Jared Leto shit. He needs to be big boss man. He needs to wear suits. He needs to look different. The thing I liked about Seth Rollins when he was a company man, I liked the fact that he wore suits. He came out, he dressed, he said what he needed to say, and he hold up the end of his bargain. He put up or shut up, and he shut the doubters up. He shut up people. He's not doing that so much. The same way I feel about his wife, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the same. Becky Lynch, glorified, takes money, and I know she re-signed with WWE, takes money, and underwhelming. And Seth is underwhelming. Ever since Seth Rollins renewed his contract with WWE, he's been underwhelming. And I really hope he gets a victory over Punk here. I highly doubt it. I'm pulling more for Seth than I am CM Punk, because I think Seth wants it more, but it's going to be CM Punk. Guaranteed on next week's debut on Netflix. They got to do something. And I'm assuming that what they're going to have is they're going to have him face off with Gunther at some point. I think WWE is going to be pushing the narrative of Punk for Gunther, and then they're going to push Orton for, or Kevin Owens for Undisputed, which I wouldn't be mad about either. Penta's coming. They did very much give you pretty much the cat's out of the bag. He'll be debuting next week on Netflix. They have to bring a Penta in. And Penta was the other one that was going to win the World Heavyweight title. So do they still go with that? Or maybe they have him go against Braun Breaker. Maybe they have him do something. I'm happy to see Penta getting a bag full of money. and getting properly a good push. He needs to be pushed. He was a dominating force in Lucha Underground, and to be honest with you guys, they have done nothing. AEW didn't really nothing with him outside of putting the trios belts or the tag belts. I think he got a TNT championship once upon a time, or international, one of the two. They didn't really value Penta. I think WWE will be pushing him to the moon and back. I just hope he doesn't get put into the LWO and put into that Latin purgatory where they just have you job out every week like Andrade. And Andrade should be treated better in WWE. He came back to be a glorified jobber. He's no better than LA Knight to me. Anyway, Zoe Starks and Dakota Kai. Can I just say that match was good? They did the 2 semifinals matches on Raw, getting ready for next week's finale, and I was really cool with that. Io Sky and Lyra, okay? Lyra. Let me be honest with this. They tried to do the same thing what AEW did. Potentially AEW had the best women's match of the year candidate, basically. So I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to outshine their competition. I get it with that match. It had everything. Kyria, there was a botch at the end. And I'm going to say this. Io Sky kind of botched. Or was it Zoe Stark's match? One of them had a bad botch when they were trying to do like eat defeat or something like that. It's like a spinning eat defeat. It was like a botch. And I was like, I get why Zoe Starks is in the position she's in. She doesn't sell well. And Dakota Kai, what can we say? Dakota Kai's been the chosen one. She was a Triple H person for a while there. So Dakota Kai, I see Dakota Kai or Kyria winning it all. Either way, I'm happy with the choices. I really do think they'll give it to Dakota Kai. I really do believe. I like Kyria, right? But Dakota Kai was there first. And I don't think they really have faith in Dakota Kai to really win the women's belt. They want to see what they have with her, kind of like what they have with Chelsea Green. So I think with Dakota Kai, they give her the belt. They let her run with it with Damage Control. They see what they got with Damage Control. I think they do give the tag team belts at some point back to Kairi Sane when they kayfabe her back onto television, or Asuka. And they do that. So I'm happy to see where they do with that. Or they have Kyria win it. Kyria, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that either. Now, they had a 6-man tag team with the JD Madonna, Carlito, and Finn Balor. A 6-man tag match with Damian Priest, the War Raiders. I could care less about this. I'm over Damian Priest. I'm over Finn Balor. Finn Balor should be way ahead. The articles and all the dirt sheets and all the YouTubers say, it's Finn Balor's time. It ain't Finn Balor's time. Finn Balor looks like a jobber. Priest's stock value is starting to go down to me. Like, he is not looking like that top dog as he once did. And again, I think, if they're pushing Finn Balor, this is a weak push to the top. Personally. So, basically, we have New Day opening up Raw. I wish they would have had CM Punk and Rollins here. Because this New Day segment with Jay was ridiculous. I didn't care for it. The New Day, they're becoming one-dimensional. Do you notice it? One-dimensional. They come out, they get booed. It's kind of like Dominic Mysterio bad. Like, I like Dominic Mysterio. When he talks, he does amazing heel work. I feel Logan Paul does the same great heel work. But the New Day, I wish it really was Xavier here than Kofi. Kofi kind of ruins the vibes. And I like Kofi, but Kofi needs to go. Xavier Woods needs to be his own force. He should be in the Intercontinental side of things, not being a heel tag team. Why do they keep having this guy in a tag team when originally he was doing the best work as a solo guy being a heel? You could have kept Kofi Kingston and Big E together as a manager type deal. You could have had him. This is the one thing about WWE. I just don't think they have faith in Xavier Woods to win the big one. And Xavier Woods should win the big one eventually before it's all said and done. He should. I just don't see Triple H having faith in Xavier Woods. And I don't even think Xavier Woods wants to have that title at this point. But he should have a run with the World Heavyweight or something of the range. Or an Intercontinental belt. The man, since he's been in WWE, hasn't had a title yet. His other New Day people have. But he really hasn't. And this segment made him look stupid. Like, he goes, You're going to find out. You're going to find out. Like, why? Beat him up. Slap him. Do something. Then Drew McIntyre comes out to save the day, yay, because the freaking promo was going downhill from there. Like, New Day I like, but their promo work is horrendously bad. Like, why? Before Kingston could say anything, main event Jey Uso interrupted. Like, again, Jey Uso, who cares? Jey Uso's there to space to say, you guys suck, New Day sucks. I hate the chant. New Day, what they should have done is abolish the name. What they should do is take a trash can and burn their memorabilia down to the ground, and Xavier should say, no, we're under a new name. This is our new name. You know, he should do something like that. They should just bury New Day at this point and be done with it, and just have Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston come out with different ring attire, different music. Stop this whole New Day or heel things. The New Day is dead, technically. It hasn't been the same in 5 years. Like, I'm sorry to say that. Uso said he and the New Day did it go way back, and he only had one thing to say to them: New Day sucks. It was a shitty promo. These are things with WWE that I complain about as promos. Like, if you're kicking off a show, I would have rather had CM Punk and Seth kick off the show personally and had them brawl more than freaking had a New Day segment. The New Day segment, again, it doesn't build fire and desire into your product. And that's the thing, you know, people say about WWE, they don't do like AEW does, but they do. WWE does shitty promos just as much as AEW does. And you can't tell me any different. Both companies are like, when they kick off shows sometimes, and I feel like WWE, it was kind of playing it safe here tonight a little bit, playing very, very safe last night. And I just feel like, honestly, they could have done a lot more. Solo said Jay and Jimmy made a big mistake siding with Roman Reigns. He promised he would remain the tribal chief next week at Tribal Combat match on Netflix premiere on Monday Night Raw. Then everyone who had no chance acknowledging him. Jay tried to respond. Drew McIntyre snuck up, and, you know, the rest is history. You all know he got Claymore kicked. They brawled, and then pretty much Claymore kicked. That was it. Kathy Kelly with American Made ahead of Chad Gable's match with Otis. Gable said that tonight he starts checking off his bucket list, beating Otis tonight. Gable promised the final lesson will be tough to Otis, with the master remaining the master. It was stupid. The promo was stupid. Again, American Made. I don't understand it. I don't get it. They're moving them over to SmackDown, and I still don't get their character. I don't get the progression. Like, riddle me this, riddle me that. Sorry, I moved my mic for a second in this recording. I just don't get American Made. I don't get it. I don't get Chad Gable. Chad Gable's literally Shorty G to me, and the way they're booking him is like Shorty G. Again, the Creed brothers have gone down in stock value. They were winning championships when they were Diamond Mine. I just don't care for them. Ivy Niles, garbage at this point, and they're glorified jobbers. Like, this is the problem with WWE and even AEW. They don't know how to book their tag teams division properly. They gave DIY, had to turn them heels just to give them the belts, because obviously they don't have, you know, Pretty Deadly. Fuck Pretty Deadly, right? You know, fuck every other tag team that they have, because we got to feud. We got to give DIY championship belts again, because we got to make it right. And then we got to give something for the Motor Machine Guns, because they're not recognized, because you didn't put them out there and book them properly. You didn't give a reason for the fans to go, oh my God, it's the Motor City Machine Guns. You didn't do that. And I feel with Penta, what they call him, Pentagon Jr., or they call him El Cerro Mero. I feel the same. Like, we know who he is, but the casual WWE audience is not going to know. And hopefully they book him right. They said that he's got a world heavyweight title in his future. So let's see what they do with it. Chad Gable and American Made defeats Otis. I could care less. With Maxine Dupri and Tozawa. Who cares? This was jobbers being jobbers. I don't know why. I guess they have to put the fillers. They have to put the jobbers in this. And honestly, I do call Chad Gable a jobber, because nothing he does is entertaining to me. I knew when he re-signed with WWE, he was going to be a glorified performance enhancement talent. That's just how it is. And the Creed brothers, who cares? Ivy Nile, who cares? Ivy Nile has gone down since Diamond Mine, and same with the Creed brothers. Unfortunately, the Diamond Mine, they should have came in as Diamond Mine, and they didn't. On the top rope, I don't care. Again, R-Truth, backstage, Judgment Day Clubhouse, commensurate among themselves, or came together with themselves. And Liv Morgan was Finn Balor tried to progressively aggress changes to the subject on the tag team match to War Raiders and Damian Priest, as he told Raquel Rodriguez to tell Liv that he wishes her good luck on her match next week. Again, are we really caring about the Judgment Day? Is it just me? Like, they do these clubhouse segments, and I'm just not caring. Carlito's been stale. Finn Balor supposedly is getting pushed, right? Sorry, I'm talking in a monotone voice because this is how shitty this segment is. Like, do you really care that Raquel? I told you guys. All of you told me I was wrong about Raquel Rodriguez. Each and every one of you in my community told me Raquel Rodriguez is gonna get booked like amazing. She no, she was put in a group like I thought, and she was put in her place where I thought she was gonna be. Are you gonna tell me any different? Are you guys gonna tell me that Raquel's all of a sudden gonna turn babyface and win a title, which wasn't good the first time around, or the second time around, or the third time around, or the fourth time around, or the fifth time around, or the sixth time around, or the seventh time around, the eighth time around, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th? Raquel Rodriguez is not good at all. And there's reasons why she's been shoved in purgatory in the Judgment Day. And it's depressing. R-Truth versus Pete Dunne. Dunne interrupts Truth's entrance, attacks him from behind. Incredibly busy staff and officials ran to help. And this shit's stupid. Nobody talks about Butch. Who cares? This shit is lame as lame can be. R-Truth, I'm done with the comedic R-Truth. I get he plays to the crowd. If you didn't watch the Chris Van Vliet interview, I love R-Truth. But I wish he'd come back as Ron Killings. I wish he'd come back to be that one-dimensional character. I'm tired of I'm going to be real. I'm tired of the Kevin Hart shit. I really am. R-Truth was better than this. R-Truth was winning titles. Give this man another title. Give him another run. I thought in NXT he should have been North American title holder there. But again, backstage, then they have the first women's semifinals. Dakota Kai defeating Zoe Stark again at the end. There was a botch. This match was great. Dakota Kai, I see her winning it all. I know a lot of people want Valkyria, and I get this, but Dakota Kai was there first. She was a Triple H girl a long before. I think you have her go over. And Dakota Kai came back. She didn't go over to AEW. She didn't go to TNA. She came back. She took a pay cut. So I think, look, you give that to Dakota Kai. She deserves it. Again, the match went the distance, but there was a botch on the eat defeat moment. Like this eat defeat move that she was trying to do. And Zoe Starks is not a good seller, of moves at all. Zoe Starks is just awful. Damian Priest in the War Raiders. We talked about that already. We had Ludwig Kaiser and a promo with Sheamus returning. Kaiser talked about he was A+ everything, European excellence. And the Warrior didn't want to waste time. He stormed the ring, attacked Kaiser viciously. Again, since Sheamus re-signed with WWE, this is another person that I'm sitting back and going, what? Sheamus would have been better somewhere else. TNA, he would have been better with AEW, to be honest with you. What have they done with Sheamus? Sheamus has gone to this purgatory of losing just as much as Raquel Rodriguez. Do we believe in Sheamus? Oh, Sheamus upcoming story to next week. Oh, he's beating up Kaiser again. I don't really care. I like Ludwig Kaiser. I think Kaiser's the future. I think Kaiser, it should go up and get an Intercontinental title push and everything. I do believe that. I think Kaiser and Gunther are going to meet each other eventually, and I think it'll be a badass feud. This with Sheamus, I could care less because it's been done before. WWE needs to stop these replay matches. They keep regurgitating the same replay matches every week. And I'm going to say this honestly. If you're going to give AEW shit and we're going to hold them to this big, they have to be excellent in the sky, Tony Khan has to be everything every week, then we got to hold WWE to the same. I love how this wrestling community will turn around and call Sheamus and Kaiser cinema. Or they'll say these two women's matches outdid the women's match. I don't think so. Chris Statlander and Monet blew the roof off the building on Saturday. And the only thing that came close was Io Sky and Valkyria killing each other almost. And even then, I would still say Monet and Chris Statlander go over. They had storytelling. They had the A, B, and C's. When you start doing those things, that's a win-win in my book. But I will say a solid second was this Intercontinental semifinal match for sure. And I think they'll blow off the roof next week when they go against each other. Backstage, Rey Mysterio gives Otis encouragement after his great effort against Chad Gable earlier tonight. Again, Otis is a jobber. Let's just keep this a buck. Tozawa, the way Triple H sees these guys are comedic talents. They're not there to win. That's why I wish they would have like an X Division title or something different to where it's hokey pokey. That's where I'm like, they could revitalize the Cruiserweight division, or what they could do is revitalize an X Division and have like some type of light heavyweight title or a mid-card title, a middleweight title or something, because they got too many comedy acts and personally a lot of jobbing. Like the Final Testament is a jobber group. If you ever think about that, the Wyatt Six is kind of fizzled off. Like, this is things about Raw that irritate me every week. And I don't like complaining. And everybody says how great WWE is. The Final Testament should be further along than they are. American Made should look like Kurt Angle's group. They don't. I expect if you're going to take the gimmick, you need to live up to the expectations of 2005 through 2006. You ain't. I'm a little disappointed in the idea of that Zoe Starks still can't get over with selling. Raquel Rodriguez, you have her look badass, you have her look sexy, but she's in purgatory. These are things that piss me off every week about WWE Monday Night Raw, and it ain't going to get better going to Netflix. They're going to blow their load next week. I've told you guys this before, and I will say this now. They're going to blow their load. They're going to bring all these debuts in. They're going to bring Roman Reigns in. They're going to bring Penta. I just feel that they're going to blow their load so much on the first week of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, the first hour, that week 2, week 3 are just going to be boring. And I feel like they're going to get a great number next week, and then it's just going to tail off. I feel the same way about AEW. A lot of people have cut the cords. And by the way, when we're going to talk about views and ratings, right? We're going to talk about views and ratings when it comes to Netflix and simulcasting this week on Max. Remember, it's going to come down to subscription buys. Netflix is expecting that people are going to flock over and sign up for Netflix on top of watching ads. So just expect that. You know what I mean? And I've already seen it with the NFL. They're going to have ads. They're probably going to have picture-to-picture probably. But it's very predictable how WWE's doing their things with Netflix. So, and the simulcast at AEW, it's pretty much going to be the TV cast just put on Max. And they're expecting people to come over and buy and watch. And I do hope both of these shows do well on streaming. But, like I said, I think these two companies are blowing their load real too quick. I think I got to get the favorite show. Sploosh, sploosh, sploosh. Triple H and I think Tony Khan both are splooshing their loads on these shows to be great. Again. And I'm tired of the roll-ups, man. I'm tired of the fruit roll-ups. Man, these fruit roll-ups all day long. Seth Rollins and Punk Can I tell you this should have kicked off the show? I was left dazed and confused why they had a New Day segment. They could have had the New Day segment in the middle of the show before, in between the two Intercontinental Women's title semifinal matches. They could have just had that and had it as filler and had Drew McIntyre do what he needed to do. Seth Rollins, CM Punk. What can I say? One was talking about arrows, and the other one was talking about how they were gonna burn it to the ground. I just feel like it's corporations Rollins versus anti-heroes CM Punk. And I have fell in love with CM Punk, but I do want to see Rollins win this. Rollins deserves something because Rollins has been looking like a freaking jobber lately. Let's just keep that a buck. Let's keep that, to be honest. You know what I mean? But this segment was good to end Raw. I think going into next week, we got a Penta segment. I think we're going to get a Penta promo, or Penta's going to come out and do something. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for next week's Monday Night Raw, but they have to be consistent on Netflix. You can't sploosh your load and then have 2 other week shows after the fact on Netflix. Because they talk about viewerships, they talk about this stuff, and then when you don't do it, it's just going to be the same with AEW, the same way I feel. AEW has huge momentum coming out of World's End. They got to continue it. WWE, how are they going to drive next week? AEW's the first to go on a streaming service. Let's see what they do on Wednesday. I'll be watching it on Max. We're going to see how Max works with AEW. We're going to see. I'm going to check everything out. I'll have it, we may go live. And I'll go into depth and things like that. We'll talk about it, whatnot. So there will be that. Anyway, again, my name is RevSauce9. I have a mouth. I have an opinion. And this show, I'm going to be honest with you, is a C average. Very, very mid. It did not keep me interested. You need to have CM Punk. You needed to reverse it. Seth and CM Punk at the very beginning. Then you would want to do in the middle. If I was booking the show, I would have had it in the middle between the 2 Intercontinental matches. I would have had the Kofi Kingston and the whole New Day segment and done the Claymore and the whole thing. I wouldn't have done that at the very beginning of Raw. And again, no Roman Reigns doesn't help making this show mid. This show is very, very mid. It was kind of garbage. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. That's why I'm calling it C average this week. I would say, honestly, it was a 5.0 to me. I think they're playing conservative. I think WWE is playing very conservative because they don't want to blow too much what's going on for next week. They want to keep some things in secret, and I think that's what they're going to do. That's just my opinion. Guys, my name is RevSauce9. This was a quick review. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.